everyone.
Welcome, folks. Welcome to It Takes a Village, a show where we shine a spotlight on the people who make our games. Please feel free to get cozy, perhaps move towards each other in the middle. It'll be a better show for you. I'm your host, Samantha and I'm an actor. You might know me as Karlach in Baldur's Gate 3. I'm also Darth Null in a game called Star Wars: The Old Republic. You might be familiar with that.
A little bit,
Jackie.
a tiny
yeah,
bit,
we might
yes.
talk about that later.
And
USC Coletti in Marathon. It's just come out. I haven't had a chance to play that yet. And I could go on. But the point is, it's not about me. It's about you today, my lovely. So how we do this, we'll have a chat, and then we'll leave some time at the end for some Q&A questions. So Jackie Ico has thrived as a community manager in the entertainment and gaming spaces for the past decade. In her current role, she manages the community and communications for Star Wars: The Old Republic. Alongside her love of connecting with her culture through food, getting through her gaming backlog, and hanging out with her tripod dog, Parfait, she has a passion for uplifting the voices of fellow Asian Americans and other BIPOC creators and professionals. Welcome to the village.
Thank you. I am more than ecstatic and honored to be here.
Oh, bless you.
I was very surprised.
It's been a long time coming. I just wanted to do it in person.
Yeah, so I want to throw you off a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
do it.
Yes, because I have a present for you.
Oh, no, why?
Yeah, I was like, why are you walking up with a brown bag? It might be because of this.
What's in the bag? What's in the bag?
We have to find out.
Do you want them to see it? No,
Yes, I didn't. One of our artists did.
This is what they're like at Broadsword. They got me a holocron! If you've been following along, this is relevant in Star Wars: The Old Republic. This is so cool.
Yeah,
Nothing bad will happen if I start messing with it. It's not Hellraiser.
I'm not here.
I'll do it later. I'll do that later. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's
of
super kind.
course.
Thank you.
Of
We'll
course.
come back to that. But when we first started working together, the team made me my character's lightsaber and paint, which you don't normally expect on such a big property. It's got a really lovely, homey feel to it. And yeah, I was really taken back as I am right now.
Our art director, Brad Lewis, he just does everything in person, and sometimes he brings it into the game, and vice versa. And he was like, "Oops, I'm so sorry. I just hit the mic. I'm not used to wearing this headset."
Hey, you're good. We'll start the dancing later, but so you just get used to it. Before.
I told you I was going to do a cartwheel at some point. And he made the Darth Null lightsaber hilt, and then he taught me, guided me on how to paint it for you. And then we met up at PAX.
It's got a place in my house. I love it. I love it. And now I'm actually allowed to show people it because I wasn't for a long time.
Yeah.
How are you finding GDC?
It's been this is my first GDC, and it's been, it is revitalizing. I've been telling people that for the last couple days that I've been here, because you're amongst peers, you're amongst people who have a passion to create games. And sometimes when we leave, we get the con blues and everything, and you kind of just like, oh man, there's some days where you're just so frustrated or a little burnt out and everything. But when you come to these spaces here, you're like you're among like such good energy, and it just like recharges you. So I love coming to these conferences. I love coming to these shows, and everyone's just been so lovely and welcoming and just warm, and wanting to share insights and guidance as well, because we're all here to learn something.
Yeah.
And so I'm thanking for all of you for being here. My goal for this chat is for at least one person to walk away from here learning something that they didn't initially know.
Amazing.
So that's my goal.
Amazing. Well, it's my first time here too, so we'll have to come back next year. Obviously, that's the only way to do it, I think. And I
we'll
hope
compare notes.
Huh?
We'll compare notes.
We will, yeah, and I hope you all have enjoyed your GDC as well. And I think we've got some veterans in the audience, so you'll have to tell us afterwards how you got on. Well, on here we do like to start with an origin story.
Yeah.
I understand you grew up in Vegas.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I did.
To ask. It's so unusual as an outsider. People live there, which is really cool.
They think we all live on one street, because that
strip,
well-lit street is the only thing they see in TV and movies and everything. I'm like, no, someone thought I lived in a hotel. Like lived in a hotel. And I'm like, no, we have theaters and schools and
life outside the tourism.
Yes, like driving 2 miles off the strip is not going out of town. But no, I grew up in Vegas, and I've had a love for video games since I was a small child.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like shaped me into who I am today. I think the earliest games were definitely like Tetris, and Duck Hunt. And then it went into the SNES. For anyone who calls it SNES, please talk to me after this because I don't know where that came from. I believe that's a generational pronunciation.
I called it SNES back in the day.
Do you?
It might be a British thing.
Oh man, like
sorry.
SNES is how we were taught to.
But the community
pronounce it.
manager would like to speak to you after this. Thank you very much.
I just want to learn that origin
trouble with
story,
it,
honestly. But then I found a love for.
Is that something were your parents cool with you playing that?
Oh, they didn't want me
I
playing
had to-
video games to begin with.
Yeah.
So I got away with a lot.
Sweet.
We had the NES, but then I had to go to my cousin's house.
That's what
in
I
order
had
to
to
go
do. I had to,
SNES.
it was friends with male siblings would have a console, funnily enough, and then I would secretly play at their house and maybe inherit an old system they didn't want anymore. So
Yeah,
that's how I
Mortal
was able to-
Kombat,
Yeah.
Resident Evil, could not play that in the household. Had to definitely go sneak off to a friend's house and get away with that.
under
But-
the cover of night to play the video games.
Oh man! And I remember. Okay, so a little bit of Jackie lore. So my parents were divorced when I was very young,
Yeah.
and so we would have to go from one house to another over the weekend. I would leave my PlayStation on
Oh.
through the weekend at one house because I didn't get to a save point.
Resident Evil.
So
right?
I'm just like, it'll be fine.
Resident Evil. I
It'll be
missed
fine.
a train during Final Fantasy 16 because I thought I'll just start the game. 20 minutes later, make it stop. No, I don't want to skip. I don't want to skip.
No, but like,
We'll
oh
just
my
have
gosh.
to stay in tonight, babe.
Yeah, I think it was. I did that with Breath of Fire 3.
Yeah.
I think because I built a love for narrative games, a lot of RPGs, so that kind of became my bread and butter, and that's why.
What if Final Fantasy 7 was in there somewhere? Because that was formative for me.
I have a funny story about
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7, but my love from that franchise is 6.
6, yeah.
Yeah, because it's usually like
It's
whichever.
normally the first one you play, isn't
right.
it?
So for
7
me, it was 6.
Yeah.
And then love 7. I'll never get over the hourglass arms. Those are my favorite. And then so that just kind of like stemmed from there. And going back to Final Fantasy 7, my brother and I have a younger brother by 2 years, and he also played video games. But then we got Final Fantasy 7. Everyone knows what a time investment that is.
Yep.
And then at one point, he was just like, I have raced too many chocobos. There's so much time I've spent on chocobos. I'm done. And he went cold turkey. No more gaming. No more gaming at all.
Never again.
Never again. I mean, he picked up like a couple of PC games over,
He'd
over
been
the years.
burnt too badly.
Yes. He's like, what am I doing with these birds?
What happened to them, though? What happens to abandoned chocobos?
It was just more that there was so much of a time investment,
Yeah, he saw
you
the
know,
light.
and he's
went,
like,
oh,
oh
God."
man, there's too many baby chocobos.
Sometimes when you stare into the abyss stares back at you. That's what happens. And in this case, they were chocobos.
Yeah, for my dad,
Amazing.
my dad was obsessed with Dune
Okay.
on the PC like
Yeah.
back in the day.
I think I got
And-
motion sickness off that once. I played it for so long.
No, Dune.
Oh,
D-U-N-E.
Dune. Oh, Dune.
Yes. that
Okay.
Stupid standard.
Ah.
But like, 'cause we were doing like Command and Conquer. And
No, there was an old
Dune.
Dune game, but of course there was, because it was a book from ages ago.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was so fun. But my dad spent until like 4 in the morning. And then he's like, I gotta take my kids to school. What am I
No,
doing?
life-
And so he
yeah.
stopped. And so really out of my immediate family, I'm the only one who kind of pursued a love for video
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
And now I work on one. So it's been
Yes.
kind of come full
That's
circle.
how it comes around. But it sounds like you
Yeah.
were encouraged at least, because those of us who weren't, it's a great moment of, ha-ha, see, I told you.
Yeah. My parents still don't know what I do. They're like, you talk
None-
to people through the computer? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
That's
Talk
like
to the angry people through the computer.
we call them passionate.
Of course. I'm talking in general, of course. So then, like, academically, what was going on in your life? Did you always want to get into games, or was there something else going on?
So I'm going to date myself a little bit here. When I was in school, a long time ago, there was no classes for this. There was no education. Like social media was just starting, and
What a great time that was.
oh my gosh, it was so simple. It was simpler, you know.
Not having your whole
Calmer
childhood on the
times.
internet to haunt you when you're older. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, man, we had it good back then.
Yeah, we had it quite good, I think. But
But yeah, there was no
Yeah.
community management didn't exist
of course.
in gaming. I never really had aspirations to become a game developer. It was just like, oh, that'd be cool, but it wasn't like my
So
be all
what
end all or
subjects did
anything.
you enjoy at school then?
I loved writing. I loved writing. So funny story, Final Fantasy VI, going back to that, because we had to go to the cousin's house.
Yes.
I never saw the ending of Final Fantasy VI until way later in my
This is
life.
pre-YouTube, so there's
Yeah.
no way of seeing it.
So I wrote fan fiction. I wrote my own ending. So I was like in school just writing my own fan fiction. I was like, this is how I envisioned this would happen for Terra, that kind of thing. And so I loved writing. I loved playing with words. And initially, before I thought about being a narrative designer at first, and I think this is going to inadvertently answer one of your questions because I've seen your show. I know what
I
questions
gave you
are
the
coming
questions
up.
in advance at your request, yes.
And so because we didn't have a lot of mentors back then, we didn't like have that guidance, we didn't have that knowledge. It was kind of like, just do it.
Yeah.
And then that's how you gain the experience. And so a good friend of mine, Christopher Means, he put together like a small team, and we're like, let's build a Fallout mod. Let's just see if we can
Amazing.
do it, And it wasn't to, get it, playable. It
Yeah,
was more just,
for yourselves.
just dig in,
Yeah.
understand what the systems and the tools are like.
Yep.
And so I was actually fleshing out a character, but then it kind of naturally became that you're really good with talking with people. You're good with connecting people. Do you want to help us herd these cats? Kind of thing. And so that's kind of like the start of the community management role. But I didn't know what label that was. That didn't really that wasn't a thing. And so that's kind of how the origin story of my dive into becoming a CM started.
So let me just get this right. So did you go to college?
Yes.
So what did you study there?
So it was a lot of reading and writing. So it was liberal arts. I have a degree in English, which
We always end up in the games industry, it turns out.
oh my gosh, because like written communication.
It's the one where
is
they go,
so-
like, you'll work it
yeah.
out another time. It's a very expensive way to work out what I'm going to do, but
Yeah.
here we are.
It's very versatile.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.
But
But you always knew video games. You always knew it was going to be video games. No, you didn't. Okay.
No.
Right.
No, it just kind of became that. Once I was in college, you're so young at that time, you don't really know what you want to do. Like, I was very envious of students that just knew.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to go down this path. And I'm like, baby Jackie has no idea. And so I ended up landing a marketing job right after college. A really good friend of mine, his mom saw that there was potential in me, and she was a VP in a IT department for a casino, because Vegas.
Who would have thought?
Because Vegas.
Yeah.
And but it was more on the project management side.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily the tech side.
Yeah.
And so she's like, do you want to be an assistant? And I'm like, oh my God, this is the most money I've ever made in my life. It was like $32K a year or something right out of college, and that was amazing.
Yeah,
back
when you're
then.
young, that is
You
so
know,
much
yeah.
money. Yeah.
And so that kind of started the creative process,
Yeah.
being around like marketing mindsets and everything. But of course, it was in a corporate environment.
Yep.
But with every job, if you like it, if you don't like it, you can take something from
Absolutely.
it. Some kind of learning experience.
I mean, even really a bad experience with time is a learning experience.
Right.
You know, at the time you're having you're not
Yeah.
thinking, I'll have some great stories out of this.
Yeah,
but,
after some
you know,
therapy.
after some
you can
expensive
be
therapy
like,
and
I did
time.
learn something from that, okay.
Oh yeah, I'll never do that again. That's what I've
Right.
learned.
Yes, that's also another lesson that you can possibly learn.
So I'm picking up that like you've always been good around people. Your communication is good,
Which
and that's
is
been
weird.
noted.
Which is very
Yeah.
weird.
'Cause most people are
because
terrible at it, and it's kind of what sinks a lot of relationships at work, isn't it?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm masking very well.
Okay, we are all masking very well
I'm
right
very
now.
much naturally introverted, but I'm extroverted with the right people, with the right energy.
Yeah.
After this, no one talked to me for 2 weeks when I get home because I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I was very shy. I would, oh my gosh, there's gonna be so much Jackie lore here, but I would put on a Walkman, a little headset for a Walkman, and I would just play a cassette tape, and I would hide in a closet and just like shut out the world, because that was my zen, that was my safe space.
Yep.
And then my poor dad, he when he said that he picked me up from kindergarten, he's like, I was so worried about you because,
You were in a closet somewhere.
well, he was like, you were always off alone in a corner by yourself.
But that
you
was by
know?
choice.
That was
That's
like,
what you wanted.
yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody. But I was very shy, and it took me until I want to say middle of college, end of college, where I actually started like figuring out who I am as a person. I'm still learning,
Yeah.
you know. But that was when I felt a little bit more comfortable being myself, kind of reinventing, you know, getting away from what I was crafted to be
Yeah.
by other people.
Yeah.
And so now I'm crafting and molding myself.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm doing okay so far.
Doing fantastically
So,
well. Isn't Jackie doing amazingly? There we
thank
go.
you. I appreciate
I
that.
love these
Thank
live
you.
shows. It's instant feedback. Who'd have thought? Theatre.
I'll show you some baby pictures. I was a
Amazing.
cute baby. And then something
we
happened
were.
in teenager years, and then
We
and
won't
now I'm
talk
fine
about
again.
that, but you're fine now. Don't worry about it. It all came out okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting. So what was the first games job then? Without going into every job in your CV, like when was the first? Oh, okay. This is obviously
So
a thing I'm doing.
I would say outside of like helping people with Kickstarters, helping with mods and everything, I would say like the main game is Star Wars: The Old Republic. Because I did help out on different teams
Yeah.
throughout, but they were like a few months here and there and everything. But
Yeah.
this is the first time that I'm actually staying on a team
Yeah.
where I'm understanding the dev cycle, understanding the process.
I was going to say it's one of those things that takes time, and it's not
Yes.
something you're going to take away from you if you've done a few months on a project.
Yeah,
for
like
sure. Yeah.
a few months is not enough time.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
enough time, and
You're just
especially
settling in. Yeah.
yeah, and with community, you're. I think I'm going to inadvertently answer another question. But with community, when people assume community manager, they assume the audience, the consumer, the player base. But yes, that's external community. But for me, I can't speak for any other CM, but for me, internal community, your team is just as important. And so if there's anything that impacts the team, if anything impacts a teammate, I check on them. I'd be like, hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? And so you're kind of like a natural sponge.
Yeah.
And that can be a double-edged sword, of course, because you can easily burn out on that when you're taking on so many other emotions.
And I think that the danger is that
So-
if someone sees you as such a safe space, then there's nowhere for you to let off steam sometimes. And I know with therapists, they have to have therapy, don't they?
And that's
quite
why you
famously.
have your village.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, amazing, amazing. It's wonderful. I don't know how many people have watched the Star Wars: The Old Republic live streams out there, but like Jackie's the face of it essentially. And I always wondered if that is to do with like devs being super shy and them going, "No, you do it."
no,
Or, like, but what it seems to me is like it's a really warm, tight knit team. That's what comes across. It is that community, and you're. You know, it's a game that's hitting its 15th anniversary this year. And,
Yeah,
you know, some of
there's
those people will have been there that long. Yeah, really exciting. It's just really good. I love watching those live streams.
we
and
are
some of the
absolutely
chaos.
chaotic. Our narrative
I was gonna
director
say,
Ashley
yeah.
is out there, and we do at least 2 practice runs.
Ah.
We get the crazy out. We get the unhinged, and like we go off script and like off bullet points or whatever. But we get all
that
that
done
energy
before
out.
you
Yeah.
record. Yeah.
So-
I imagine a lot could be at stake. Yeah.
I hope one day I'm allowed to
I
make
just
a
love it
blooper reel.
that whenever someone joins remotely and like, you know, we see them pop into camera
yeah.
at the wrong point,
Well-
they look like a Force ghost, which is, you know, very on brand.
Yeah, there's a few of us, like a lot of us are based in Austin, but there are a few of us that are all over the country.
Yeah.
And so I still have not met them in person
Yeah.
after being on the team for 5 years.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Take me back to 5 years ago. What
About
was it
5
like
years?
stepping into those shoes? When
I was
did you go in junior? Did you have
mortified.
someone to guide you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
A wonderful teammate. He's now our game director. His name is Eric Musco, and we had known each other prior because I was good at networking prior to SWTOR, and so like there's all like these little connections that you kind of make. We'll get if we have time. We're gonna get back to that.
Yep.
But when we were talking, there was a consideration for a community manager position, and so I was like, all right, let's talk. And I got like one of the best compliments from that. I went through so many interviews. Oh my gosh, because it was a round robin. It was like a few hours, and you talk to different people from a few people from each team, a department, and everything. And then after everything was said and done, and I joined the team officially and everything, Papa Keith, our executive
Yes.
producer, Keith Koenig,
Now he's a chaotic one.
He's that man. I need him to have PR training, but he is probably one of the best.
He's an incredible
leadership.
ambassador
Yeah,
as well. Like he's so relaxed.
I love him
and-
so much.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
can see
wonderful
why.
person.
I can see
And
why.
after I had officially joined the team and I was like starting to get to know people, and then I was talking about like, oh, so what was it about like my interview that you really want me, that you really liked, so that way I can continue to do that and focus on that. And then he just like, I don't even know why we bothered like making you talk to everybody else because I already knew. And I was like,
Yay, go Keith.
oh my God. And he and Muska were like the first
Oh.
two that I spoke to.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that was a huge compliment coming from him. But yeah, 5 years ago was, I was brought on board November 2020. A lot of stuff was happening that year.
Yeah, I can't remember
And
though. It's a blank.
so we were all working from home.
Yeah.
And then about a little over a year later, 2022, we launched Legacy of the Sith 7.0. And there was about 5 to 6 of us that were approved to go into the office. We had to be masked up. And I was one of the people that was fortunate enough to be there because we have like, whenever you like launch a very large update, you have like an operation room where you have like QA and design and like all of these different teams all in on one call or in one room. So that way, if something happens, you can react immediately. And so there's still only 5 of us that were allowed to go in that conference room. And I just see Keith walk in. He's got this mask. He's like a grandpa type, he's just lovely. He's got this box of donuts and a whole pack of gum with him. Apparently that was his thing in the office, and I'm like, oh my God, it's you. And I just run up and I hug and I'm crying and everything because I'd never met him in person before.
Yeah.
That was the first time I met anyone in person.
Yeah.
And after working with them for like a year and a half almost, and so that was pretty surreal. And then we launched 7.0, and we've been doing consistent updates, like story updates, seasonal updates since then. And now we're in our 15-year anniversary year, and then we have 8.0 coming up.
Yes.
But we have a finality to get through first
Yes,
for
we
our
do.
current storyline.
Yeah. I remember that just as a side note, because I know what folks are like when they're very, very enthusiastic about a thing. And Keith was like, well, we can tell you, like, we could show you the roadmap now, and we could show you the next part, but it means you won't concentrate on this bit. So you don't get that until you've played this. And it was very grandpa coded, I thought. I thought it was fair.
Yeah.
Don't make him get the slipper.
He's so. I don't know if he's going to get
He's not
irritated
gonna
that
get
I say this
slipper.
part.
It's going to tell you off.
But he and I have a very interesting relationship because we are both thorns in each other's sides.
Yes. I can
Because
see
he
why.
didn't hire a yes woman, you know,
No.
like, so he wants people to like kind of like push back if he has like an idea or something, and then you have to back it up, of course. You can't just say it to say it.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to like the humanity of being not an executive producer, but being Keith and Jackie.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was spiraling. I cannot even remember what happened, but I was in the office with him, and then I was like, oh my gosh, there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this. And then he's like, you still have your parents? I'm like, yes. He's like, you're still healthy? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, worry about the things that matter. And then I was like, okay.
That's great coming from a boss.
Okay.
'cause
Yeah,
they're normally
so
the last
he
ones.
can ground you if
Yeah.
you need it.
Yeah.
And then he's a pain in the butt later, but you know,
That's fine.
in the moment, like he can
He's
read
a,
that.
he's a caring
Yeah.
manager, and that's what matters
Yeah.
most. Yeah.
He absolutely, like everyone on our team, just adore each other and look out for each other and support each other as much as possible. So that's why
I mean, I can see
love
that in
this
those
team so
ice
much.
streams, just the rapport as you're handing over. You can see the respect and the love you have for each other. It's kind of obvious when it isn't there. So when it is there, it's really cool. 'Cause you think, that
Yeah.
can work, you know. Would you say you have 2 distinctive roles, the communications role and then the community manager? Are they 2 different things?
I wish I had 2 different roles.
How many roles? How many hats are you wearing? How many hats do you wear?
Too many.
Too many hats.
Too many. Sometimes I'll like, you know, we work from home.
Talk us through some of these different wonderful things that you do.
Sometimes I'll wear a tiara. No joke. I got it from a medieval show.
You wear literal hats.
And I'm just like, okay, we're channeling this energy today. Oops, I'm so sorry about hitting the mic again. I'm not used
You're
to
good.
this. So community manager, of course.
Yes.
I do a little bit of the.
Well,
social
actually, why
media.
don't we go through what a community manager does? Because from a public perspective, like it's the person who tells you off or apologizes or everyone is rude to online. There must be more to it.
I am going to kick it back to you.
Yeah, sure.
Tell me what you think a community manager
Yeah.
is, or what you believe one is.
So they will be running the social media to the public side. They'll be putting out they'll be passing on the information from the devs, making it shiny and passing it on to the public in a way that's more easily readable and easily understandable on a consumer level. They'll be laying the law if it kicks off. I imagine they'll write a code of conduct, so we spoke about, and if there's a Discord or a forum, they'll be putting those rules together. And then if there's feedback, they will then pass that on to the developers. And that is as much as I know about your job.
That's part of it.
Yeah, I figured. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, that is part of it. Community management, and I should preface this that I can only speak for myself.
Of course, yeah.
There are different CMs out there that have different focuses. Some you don't even see. Like,
Yeah, you're very
like
public
they're not.
facing.
I am.
Yeah, you certainly are.
Double-edged sword, that one. But yeah, some of them are just strictly data-driven. And there's information and data and numbers and everything, and that's how they support community. Whereas I'm the soft, squishy one that tries to help out as much as possible, both player and dev. And so, I'll look on the forums, look for feedback, try to answer questions either on the forums or on other platforms. I'll help produce the live streams, the developer live streams that we have. I'll write the patch notes. Patch notes are
You write the patch
are
notes. Yeah.
hell.
Yeah, I bet.
Are absolute hell. So just to give you
Yeah.
like a little bit of idea how patch notes work, at least for us,
Yeah.
is we have an update. Like we just had 781,
Certainly did. It was
right?
Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, Masters
Yeah.
Enigma.
Yep.
Yeah, I came to GDC right after that launch. And I was like, oh, I was so tired. But while the team is working on that content, there are bugs that happen. We'll do a pass internally, and then there are bugs that happen, and then you have to report it, you have to mark it, you have to put it in a task, and at the same time, there are also other reports that come in from the live part of the game, and you kind of triage that, determine how to fix that, when to fix it, and so when you do patch notes, there's one part that's the highlights where it's just like what content is coming out, what features are coming out. And then the other part are bug fixes that are live.
Yeah.
So I have to go through every ticket. And no, it's actually kind of fun. I learned a lot.
All right.
doing that.
You're enjoying yourself. That's fine.
It's a lot of good knowledge. So you have to determine which live bugs are being fixed as opposed to what new content was being fixed. So you have to have an understanding of the current, of all the current features and everything like that. So sometimes...
And is that a constant back and forth, or are you just now a fountain of knowledge that you know what that means?
Oh, God. Like, I wish I was. I dare say, like, being in community, it's kind of interesting because you know different... You know all of the teams. You know roughly what they do. You roughly know what they're tasked to do and everything. So I have a good relationship with everyone on the team where I can be like, is this coming in 781? And, yeah, that's a long story, or long response to that.
That's what I
yeah.
wanted. Thank you very much.
But there's, like I said earlier, there's also the internal component as well.
Yeah.
So...
Can you speak a bit to that?
Yeah.
Be very non-specific. You don't need to be specific.
It's just, I've kind of, so when some things were happening and then, I was checking in on the team and everything, one of our systems designers is very, very sweet, was like, hey, can I send you something? And I'm like, sure, that's fine. Like we have like a really good rapport with each other and everything. And then he sent me like this little spa package, and he's like, someone has to take care of mom.
I'm glad they thought of you.
So it's like that was very sweet.
Very sweet.
So yeah, like
I'm glad they understand the value you bring, but I'm sure like it'd be hard to not.
I mean, if I felt undervalued,
yeah,
or not valued at all, I wouldn't be there.
You wouldn't be there. Yeah. No, you hear different stories from different people. That's all I'm gonna say.
Very true.
I think that leads us quite nicely on because we're talking about community at work, but you also do community work outside of your job, don't you? Asian American communities, BIPOC communities.
Oh man,
You wanna talk
yeah.
to that a little bit?
So back going back to 2020, um, I think me and probably everyone in the audience made a sourdough loaf at some point when
I
we were
started a
home.
proto version of this, actually. I thought I'll just do that and I'm done. That was my sourdough loaf.
So I was just like everyone else, where I was just ingesting all of this media and all of these videos and everything, and then I was like, well, I'm spending so much time at home, and I'm seeing a lot of recipes, a lot of Chinese food, Japanese food, Korean food recipes. I'm like, I've eaten this. I think I can make it. And so, while you're spending time at home for years on end, you start crafting that, and so I started having a love for cooking, but not only cooking, but sharing that with people. So I would like the holidays, for an example, Thanksgiving or Christmas, whichever one I was home for. Anyone who didn't have a place to go, I would invite them over. And I was like, I'll make turkey, I'll make the 5-layer mac and cheese, whatever, and then you guys just come over and have a good time and chill and everything. So that's one part of it. And the other part was a really good friend of mine, Chris. He is like a master leatherwork craftsman, and he was like, "Hey, I want to learn how to play mahjong. Do you know how to play mahjong?" And I'm like, "I can teach you, yeah." And so we were in this little place called Emerald Tavern, which is like a tabletop / tavern type of establishment, and I just brought all my tiles. And then we were sitting in this like very awkward table, and I was showing them and teaching them how to play mahjong, and that was a little over a year ago now.
Okay.
And now that little club has well over 100 attendees that come with like our monthly meetups
Oh, amazing.
and everything. And
Do
it's
you want to
just,
name it? Are you happy to name it here?
yeah, it's called Mahjong Mafia.
I mean, I was getting a distinct mob vibe off.
Well, it was because like the 8 bamboo tile,
Yeah.
it looks like it's an M&M, but like, inverted. And so we're like, Mahjong Mafia. And so that kind of
And
just
that's in
like
Austin?
stuck. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Really
that is
cool.
in Austin.
So
We
you've
don't
just
charge
taken
either.
That's why you've got this
Yeah.
big audience. How
Like
wonderful.
we don't charge. You're just
Yeah.
like, do you want to sign up for a ticket? Show up, And it doesn't matter if you don't know anything about it or if you're curious to learn. I teach. We'll have some boba or whatever, and then we just have a good time for like 4 or 5 hours.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you'd not been cooking forever. I just thought you had it, it was
No.
always there.
I mean, I
Yeah.
wasn't
I mean,
like
you cook, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I could survive,
Yes.
but it wasn't until like
Yeah.
2019, 2020 where
That's
I
really
started like
cool.
really,
If anyone follows
Juicing it
Jackie's
up.
socials, you'll get to see the food porn on there. It is something, because I've texted you, I've gone like, send me the recipe. I need to know how to do
I'll do
this.
it,
And then you
yeah.
do immediately. And I'm like,
yeah.
Jackie's
I'm gonna
so
make
cool.
Sam some homemade ramen, like making the noodles at
so
home kind of
excited.
ramen.
I'm going to cry into it, but I imagine the salt will only enhance the flavour of that. Amazing. That's incredible. Thank
Yeah.
you. So it sounds like you support a lot of people in your life. You
try.
give a lot. Who's in your village? Who supports you?
So there are a handful of friends who either are in community still or have gone through that process. And we trauma bonded. So because there's a level of empathy
Yeah.
that someone needs to have in order to understand what it is that we've gone through. Because like community is the most rewarding job I've ever had, but there's a balance, of course.
yeah.
And so whenever you see like the best of people, you see the worst of people as well. And some of that you can't take home with you.
Yeah.
And so I'm very fortunate in that I have a handful of friends that are like, do you just want to go get our cars washed and hang out for a little bit? And then, that's just what we do. And then we go on these friend dates and we hang out and talk about life or whatever. And it doesn't matter I can call someone and they'll pick up, And I'm also fortunate that people on the team understand. They may not know everything,
No, of course not.
but
Yeah.
they know enough where like,
Yeah.
hey, and they'll check in on me. So it's really I'm very cared for and loved for.
Yeah, good.
So,
Well,
yeah.
it sounds like a far step away from sitting in a corner with your Walkman on.
Yes, yes. I'm also in therapy, so yay for that. Oh, I'm so
Yay!
sure she's over my crap though.
But it's good. I think it's really important because, again, you take so much on in your job, like particularly from public, and it's really important that you look after yourself, even though you're obviously naturally gifted in communicating well. There's only so much, you can
Yeah.
endure. And speak completely laterally, people who have engaged maybe more negative things, not because it's their role or anything, but let's say people start talking back to trolls. They seem to be able to handle it and all that. After a while, it does just grind them down. Doesn't matter how sassy you are. If you're waking up every day and there's all that, to deal with, it does have a toll. And it's been interesting watching that because I thought, oh, this person's so tough. They're never going to, like, I'm leaving the industry, I've had enough. And that's fair, that's valid, but what a shame.
Yeah,
For people who are fighters, quite naturally,
when I was much more inexperienced and when I was younger, that got to me.
Yeah.
But these days, I feel more disappointed than anything.
Yeah.
And we can get into that later, like after we wrap up and everything. But it's just my mindset has changed in how I acknowledge, that type of energy.
There's experience and there's perspective.
Yeah.
And, that person doesn't know you at the end of the day, and you don't know where they're coming from. And so we fill in the gaps. And I think a lot of the time, especially things with like imposter syndrome, you let a complete stranger dictate your self-worth. And I think, I'm sure your therapist will talk to you about external validation and how you don't need it really in your life, So I'm really glad to hear that. It's sort of, in the UK, we always have a whole thing about I'm not angry, I'm disappointed, which is the worst thing the teacher can say to you.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Because I've been there too, and it's like, I don't actually feel anything. I'm just not going to bother. Okay, right. I think I'm getting to the end of my questions, but I will talk about how we met as well. How can someone in your role better advocate for themselves? I think this is a really good question because for you particularly, because so many people are wearing hats and everything, and I think a lot of people go into maybe a technical role and aren't great at communication or don't see themselves as such, but end up getting tasked with engagement, if not full community management, but with some sort of engagement with the public. How can someone maybe in that position or just starting out better advocate for themselves?
Yeah. Can I swear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I just have
Please do.
I have to.
For one of us.
So you have to get over your own bullshit because people like us, we're always second guessing ourselves. We're always surrounded by self-doubt, and because we have to constantly think about what's the worst case scenario of this path, what's the worst case scenario on this path, what's workable on this path. You get exhausted after a while, and so but you never make any progress because you're constantly thinking, just do it. And so what I mean by getting over your bullshit is like when I first started out on the team, I was kind of like, I'm gonna learn, but I pulled too far back to where I was never using my voice. And so back then we had like a lot of like peer reviews too, which was pretty cool. And a lot of feedback that I got was, love Jackie, love her energy, but she needs to speak up more because we need to know what she's thinking. And I was like, noted, I got it. And so now I'm the annoying one that's putting my hand up in Zoom calls and be like, what about this, kind of thing. And it takes time too, because you have to build up those relationships. Like you can't be the new person on the team and just be like, this is how we're doing things, guys.
No, yeah. That's when you get lots of people leaving at once. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to absorb, but you also need to contribute at the same time. And so that was one of the things, is just use your voice. Yeah. And the thing is, like, don't worry about being wrong, because that was another thing about like self-doubt and everything. Just use your voice. Yeah. Ask the question. Bring up that one point. And if someone says, "Oh, well, we already did this, this, and this," I'm like,
then it's answered.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's funny. I talked to Patrick yesterday about psychological safety, and that's obviously the cornerstone to a successful team. But particularly in your role, the idea that someone in your role wouldn't feel safe to speak up would be, I guess you wouldn't be there very long. But it sets the tone as well for the group, because they will look to you to that as well, and best practices and all of that.
Yeah. CMs are a wealth of knowledge, right? But the thing is, you can't make the assumption that other people on the team have the same knowledge. And my personal belief is I would rather know about something 3 times than not at all.
Yeah.
And so if you think that designer knows about that one spreadsheet, don't make that assumption.
Don't
Just
see
be
it.
like, hey, do you know about this?
Yeah.
You know, and the answer is either yes or no.
Yeah.
You know, so what's the worst outcome
Yeah.
out of that?
It's
You-
true.
you
It's,
get
it's
your
about
own
getting
answer,
over your
you
own
know?
bullshit. It really is, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
that fear of being
Don't be
found
afraid
out.
don't be afraid to ask. And if someone gives you shit about asking, then you know that's a
That's
whole
a
other
great red flag for you.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Yeah.
conversation that you're
Yeah.
gonna have to navigate. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you should
Amazing,
never
thank
be
you.
punished for asking a question.
Yeah. That's a great answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
So before we move on to audience questions, I wanted to personally thank you for getting me involved in Star Wars: The Old Republic, because it was actually you. But just to entertain, yes, small. Thank you. Played a different character. Darth Null. She's just been airdropped back into, was it Masters Enigma 781 that just went out on Tuesday, part 2 of that. I believe it was a social media post where Karlak might have died. It's possible in Baldur's Gate 3 for her to die. And
Spoilers.
you had a very, yeah, we're so beyond 2.5 years. And it's possible. It's possible for her to die.
Right.
And you had a very interesting reaction to that.
Fam,
very
I was
strong.
crying into my dog's fur.
But you filmed it. You filmed it.
I did. Because, you know, we were, I think at that time, I think you knew of me, that I existed in the BG3 like fandom.
I'm not sure I did actually, but someone
that's-
showed
I
it to
totally
me.
did.
Someone showed it to me, and they went, "You do realize who this is?" I know that's Star Wars, and she thinks I'm a good actor.
Yeah.
And I would love to be in anything to do with Star Wars. So I slid into I got the slide out, slid into the DMs, and said, "Well, you a woman of good taste. Could you put in a good word for me?" And my God, you did, because Darth Null had been teased for some years, and her
never
lightsaber
voiced.
was available on the
Yeah,
cartel.
but never voiced.
Yeah.
But
And
I
you
will.
pitched me for that, so thank you.
But that's all I did, though. I provided the first stepping stone.
In a way that
and then
I couldn't have
your
done.
talent got you there, though. That's the
Fine,
thing.
I'll take that. But without watching that video, without sliding to your DMs, it wouldn't have happened organically. It wouldn't have been like, oh, we're looking for a good actor. Yeah, Sam was good in Baldur's Gate. It just doesn't work like that. You have to have that personal connection. And as I keep saying to people, like, this is a great example of people from different disciplines who can get you a job, which means behave yourselves in this industry, because we all talk to each other. It's very small.
We
but the good thing
do.
is, like, if someone needs a composer, I'll know someone, or I got a producer a job by accident because, you know, I just on a personal note, I know he's very trustworthy, you know, and I was able to give that endorsement. So I gave a character reference by accident, and vice versa, you know, and I've been cast by people that will not get to work with me. So it was just a really nice proof of that concept that I've been saying for a while. It's very horizontal and everything.
You want to know something I never told you before?
Go on.
Because role-playing games like BG3, like I scrum save so much, I replayed that fight like 5 times just to hear you again and
Aw.
again and again, because I was like, oh my God, this is like Morden
Because
all
you
over
like
again.
crying. That's what
Yes, I don't know why I kept
I
doing
like
that to
crying
myself.
as well.
But your
Crying's fun.
performance was so good. It was phenomenal.
The writing was
You know?
there.
And to think
It was there.
And to think I almost missed out on Karlak because I didn't realize you had to manually select jump. I thought you could walk up to a ledge and you'd be prompted to jump. And I was like, what do you mean I could have been across this bridge the whole time? I didn't know until I had to jump
She's
on a
hidden
mushroom.
well. She's hidden well.
Oh my gosh. I was so
But
angry.
I'll be forever grateful for that. So I just want to say that in a very public space.
You're welcome. I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
You're
So
phenomenal,
we
Darth Maul.
thank you. And yeah, the sessions have been so much fun and playing something very different. And we're playing, you know, again, I don't really want to spoil, but it's a 15-year-old game. I don't really want to spoil, but you know, let's say we see different sides of Null, and it was something really fun to play. I normally play good heroic guys. I mean, you could probably say she has her reasons, but you know, this is a very different kind of role, and going into such a well-known IP, a beloved IP, and finding that place in there has been so joyful, and I've really enjoyed it. And I would take my lightsaber to the sessions just to show, like, I am a real nerd. Like, this means a lot to me.
You nerd.
Big old nerds nerding out. So yeah, that's been really wonderful. So thank you. I think it's time that we could move on to some audience Q&A. Can
Oh,
we?
you didn't ask the last question.
Huh?
You didn't ask the last question.
Yeah, we might ask. Do you want to be asked? Do you want to say something? What's the question
Okay.
you wish you were asked?
Yes, because I lost
Oh.
sleep over it.
Okay. What's the question you wish
I
you were
lost
asked?
sleep over trying to figure out an answer for this.
Okay.
And I came up with two.
Do it.
So one,
Sorry. Do it. There we go.
did everyone hear the question first? Like,
What's the question that you wish you were asked?
so I came up with two answers. I literally lost sleep over this for like a few days because I'm like, I don't know what to say. Because people ask me, naturally, they ask me questions all the time,
Yeah. Yes.
regardless of time of day.
Yeah.
But so on the professional side, I would love it if people asked, how can I help you make this game better? How can I help you? You know, because that shows me that you want to have a conversation with me rather than just placing an opinion out there and hoping to get a response. So we can, I know we're running out of time, but we can go.
It's great.
we
It's
can
funny,
go
it's
into
something I
that
do
later.
going into the booth, because most of the time I'm not going to know the team. This is starting to change because I keep saying, can we change it, please? So we'll just save time and money outside of it. But I'll go and go, what can I do? What do you need from me? How do I make this easier? Because I'm also quite aware the smaller the budget, the more likely that person isn't a specialist in directing. So yeah, if we can work together. Good question. What about the other one? What's the
Yeah.
other one you wish you
So
were
the other
asked?
one's more personal.
Yeah.
And it's layered, and I'm going to do this within like 30 seconds
Do
if
it.
possible. So I would love, on a personal level, I would love it if people asked, "How are you doing?" Not like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
or "How's it going?"
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
"How are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
But the layer is, I have to feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable enough to give you a solid answer
Yes.
instead of like, "I'm fine, I'm tired,
Yeah,
I
it's
need a nap."
timing sometimes as well.
You know.
Yeah.
My therapist is over my shit because every single time she asks me, like, "How are you doing?" and I'm
Yeah, I'm
like,
great.
"Girl, whatever you have planned for us, throw it out the window because I'm telling you all this stuff that happened this week."
Amazing.
But yeah, so that is something. It's a bit of a layered answer.
Yeah.
You know, you may not always get like a proper response from me, but the people who know
But you're
me,
also setting that groundwork. If they are a
Uh-huh.
bit scared, they realize you're going to be there every time, saying, "No, really, I'm still here." If you need to do that,
yeah,
that's great work.
And
because
sometimes that's all I need.
sometimes a company will hire someone to just ask that question. You know, there'll be a well-being person, and they'll do that. And that's great that if you're, again, leading by example, then other people will start doing that. They'll realize the point of it and how that benefits the team and on an individual level as well.
And the most common question I get, I'm going to do this within 1 minute.
That's okay. You're good.
The most
Fine.
common question I get from people who want to be community managers,
Yeah.
and it's like, how do you stay focused, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, you have to have a North Star. You have to have your goals, and if something is outside of those goals, then that's not the path you want to go down, unless you feel so solidly about it that you need to reevaluate what your goals are. But because the thing is, you see all sorts of things all over, you know, social media, especially. And whenever people ask me that, are you familiar with Aesop's fables?
Yes.
Yeah. So you know, tortoise and the hare, slow and steady wins the race. My favorite story is about a man, his son, and their donkey.
Okay.
And so the three of them are walking to sell the donkey at a village. Someone walks by and says, you guys have a ride here. Why are you not using this ride?" And so the guy's like, "Okay." And he puts his son on the donkey. They start walking. They pass by someone else and is like, "How dare this lazy son make his old man father walk by himself?" And they're like, "Okay." And so they switch places, pass another person, and then they say, "You know, like, how you're gonna let your young kid like walk alone by yourself? Like, what the heck? What kind of father are you?" And so the man's just fed up. So they both carry the donkey into the village, and they become the laughing stock of the entire town. And he gets so frustrated, he throws away the donkey. And the whole point is, like, if you try to please everyone, you please no one. So if you have your North Star, you have your goal, you continue
And
forward
people's
with
opinions don't matter
Yeah,
sometimes.
you know, like
It does remind me of like Twitter wars. Though. I like cats.
Oh my gosh.
Why do you hate dogs?
right.
Yeah, you know, it's very much that. And
Yeah,
again,
like
it's like
honestly,
getting over yourself with that.
if someone posts something positive, your immediate response doesn't have to like yuck their yum. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like just
Yeah.
oh, they like cats. Cool. That doesn't mean that they hate everything else.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just they happen to like cats. Like Come on now. Anyways, that was
No, that's great. Don't worry about time watching. We've got a small group.
okay.
So would anyone like to ask a question of Jackie? Could you put your
I'll do
hand
my
up,
best
please,
to.
and
I'll
someone
do
will
my
come
best to answer.
over? You're going to be great.
It is possible I might have to,
Yeah,
get my PR training in.
Do your thing.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, wow, that's loud. Sorry.
No, it's good. We can hear you.
Perfect. I was wondering, Jackie, you were talking about being an introvert, and I feel like pretty much anyone you talk to here is going to relate to that so much because we're all just little artists with a song in our heart, like, please let me work on games. Is there anything in particular, like, it seems kind of like it was just like the path that you wound up on, that you wound up kind of working with a bunch of people despite that, just because of your natural inclination. But was there anything you did in particular to like break yourself out of that, or was it just kind of what happened, you know?
So that's very similar to you got to get over your own bullshit. Because you have to, in order to make progress, in order to get to the next step, you have to be willing to make that jump. And it's scary because it's uncomfortable. And you're like, this goes against everything in my natural body. But you have to, go up and say hi to that game developer. Go up and say hi to, that group of people. They're like little icebreakers that you can do to kind of like we were at a community event back at Celebration last year, and I had a crap ton of pins with me. These people did not know me. I didn't know them, and I was like, "Hey, you guys want to trade?" And that's it. We didn't even trade names. We were just trading pins and everything. But we had like business cards and everything like that. So there's like little ways that you can kind of like play with that scenario. But the first step is if you want to do it, you got to do it. And I know like sometimes it may not work out in your favor, but you know what? You did it. You made that initial decision to be more than you currently are. And that's progress. Even if it's just like a little baby step, that is still progress. And you should be proud of yourself that you did that. So just little baby steps. And it'll be okay. Before you know it, you're going to be running. So take your time with that.
Have we got any other questions? Oh, confident hand up.
Well, hello, my love.
Hello, darling.
Hi.
So, Jackie.
Yes.
What's the best part of your job?
That I get to meet people like you.
You're
Aww.
so sweet.
I get to meet people like you. I am so fortunate in that I'm in a position where I can connect with people and also help them connect with other people. And the one thing that I feel like serves me very well is like come with like an openness, be genuine, because you'll receive that back. And if you don't, that's fine. That's totally fine. But I love that I'm able to establish connections with a variety of people from all walks of life, all over the world. I could go to any state, probably, and run into someone that I may know from the internet or something. And we've shared a love of, I don't know, like a video game or cooking or something like that. And I will never forget that. Sometimes I go on the Sortor Twitch account, and I'll hop into streams. It doesn't matter how the viewership at all. There was one young man who had like I think 2 viewers or whatever, and I think it was his birthday or something. And then I was like, dude, here's a code for a mount.
Auntie
Happy
Jackie's
birthday.
here.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
and
babe.
so I gave him a code, and he was very young.
Yeah.
I think probably like maybe 16 or something like that. And then years later, I was at PAX East, and this tall dude walks up to me, like I'm 5'2" on a good day, and like this guy's like this tall. I'm like, and he's like, hey, I'm like, hi, and he's like, do you remember me? And I'm like, oh my God, you were that kid. And he was like, I will remember for the rest of my life what you did. And it's like moments like that I'm like, who cares what someone said on Reddit? My God, that was so special.
Yeah.
So it's like those little moments,
Yeah.
and they come all over the place. all over the place. It could be like that. It could be like a nice message on the forums. I offered to give more community management insight, and one person took me up on it, so we had like a nice back and forth on that. And so it comes in so many different forms, but that's why I do this job. And on top of that, like the relationship that I have with my team is very special as well. I actually like them so much, I will meet them outside of work hours. Like,
That's not a surprise to me, Jeff.
but it's just like, come over to my house and have some like barbecue or whatever. So it's just like that's the magical part of the job. And if I remember that, one of my goals, if I remember that, then everything else is manageable. And if it's not, well, that's why I have my village. You go back to them and you be like, let me tell you about my day. And, so yeah. Thank you. I love
Great.
you.
Any more for any more? Yes?
Hi.
Hello. Oh,
Hello.
this is weird. Okay. So, going off of It Takes a Village. So, you and I know each other.
12 years, I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
Something crazy. But I haven't always worked in games, and you know that. And that's because someone took a chance on me 3 years ago that I will forever be grateful for. I'm wondering, and you've already kind of mentioned some people, some moments in your life, but are there any moments where you were just trying to get in through the door, like shoulder to shoulder, someone needed to take a chance on you, and when did you like feel that, oh, thank God, like I've had this moment, and do you ever feel like you want to give that back to someone else?
Absolutely. So back in, oh God, that was so long ago. I think it was college, and I was starting to like become more involved in the industry, mostly as a player. I'd never wanted to come across as a fan, because I'm like, ugh. Like sometimes like that's not like the best approach, especially if you're trying to learn. That's another thing too. Is like networking come from the angle of wanting to learn, as opposed to demanding the knowledge or whatever. But there was, I think his name is Randy Greenback, and I met him through one of my former teammates, and he's like, yeah, he's in gaming, and maybe I can like put you in touch and everything. And he basically said that you have the potential, but just network, like go to the shows, find people of like mind, and learn from them, And with these days, especially with social media, there's so much knowledge out there. A lot of developers will just like post about what it is that they do, and then you can kind of like pick their brain. It's like, well, what did you mean about that? And then they'll be happy to respond. And so that's kind of I try to remember that as often as possible. And if someone asks me about, what is it like being a community manager, I'll answer. I'll be very real, I don't think people should stay in community management for more than 15 years, because it does take a toll after a while. And because the thing is, sometimes you care too much, and that could be actually more detrimental than anything. But you can't lose that care entirely either. So you have to find like a nice balance. But yeah, and I wouldn't say that this is exclusive to community management either. I know a ton of devs. If someone is like, can I pick your brain about like your process and your insights and your mindset as to how you approach your tasks and your project and everything, they'll share that knowledge. But you have to be willing to learn. And you have to express that as well. Because there's some people where I'm like, that's not the right way to do it.
They want a free consultancy.
Yeah.
I'm not really open to that.
Yeah. So, yeah, try to.
I think people love giving advice if you can frame it in such a way. I think people do like sharing expertise in a way where they don't feel like that their time. Yeah, exactly. If you make them feel that their time is actually worth something to you, rather than, hey, you've got nothing to do at GDC, come and have coffee with me for an hour.
Like, people can pick up if you see them as a stepping stone. They can pick up on that
very quickly.
Yep.
Yes.
And again, we all talk to each other, so.
Well, we've got to end it there because we have 5, 4, 3. Where can we find you, Jackie, online?
That's,
wow,
that's off. that was like off.
What a way to go.
But I'm Geeky Fried Rice on every platform out there. So if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. I do post a lot about my dog and cooking, but as far as like game development too, that's also in there. I try to balance it out.
Yeah.
I try to, like, I'm a person, I'm a human being, I have hobbies.
Content. Yeah. So thank you for joining us at GDC for the 3 live shows.
Thank you
It
so
Takes a Village.
much.
Thank you, Jackie, for joining us today. Fantastic guest. There will be more recorded stuff. You can always find past episodes on YouTube. And thank you for joining. And I guess we'll see you next time, maybe.
Yeah.
Speak kindly of us on your evaluation forms. And then maybe we'll see you next time. But otherwise, till then, see you in the village.